everyone, and welcome to FranTastic InSights. My name is Alesia Visconti. I am the president and CEO of FranServe, and I'm also the publisher and CEO of Franchise Dictionary magazine. Now, FranServe is the largest franchise consulting organization in the world. Our mission is to help people turn their dreams of business ownership into a reality. And we do that through a network of outstanding franchise consultants who help their candidates, people just like you, explore franchise opportunities and find the perfect fit based on their goals and desires. Now, today I'm very excited because we have Heidi Morrissey, the CEO of Kitchen Tune-Up, on our show. So welcome, Heidi.
Well,
glad to have you.
Yes, thank you for the invitation. I always love to talk about kitchen tune-up. It's one of my favorite topics.
As it should be.
Yes, great.
So great. I would really love it if you could share with our audience a little bit about, Kitchen Tune-Up, what the brand does, and also some of the traits that make your brand unique. We here at FranServe are big fans of Kitchen Tune-Up, and if you could share some of those insight with our audience, I think they would really love to hear it.
Yeah, well, thank you. So I always like to give just a little bit of the history just because it's unique in our industry. My dad actually founded the company over 32 years ago. And when I took over in 2017, we had been working together for about 15 years. And what I took from my dad was really just this family culture that was really unique for us. But we basically go in and we take kitchens and we update them, usually in 1 to 5 days. We have 5 different ways we can do that. So 5 different price points. And so beyond what we do to the actual kitchen, we try to create an experience for the customer. So the customer becomes like just this brand ambassador for us. They love the experience because we all know when it's time to get your kitchen done, we want to get it done, but doesn't it sound like it's going to be a mess? Doesn't remodeling sound kind of like a word that is heavy? And what we try to do is make it so much fun that not only do they wish they had another kitchen, but they just go and they love on us. They just love what we're doing. And what my franchise owners love about this is, what other job do you go to where they're so thankful and grateful that you're there every day? And they're, we always used to say we were the brand that hugged, and now we're kind of the brand that fist bumps. And, we're also doing, homeowners will bake cookies for our owners and their staff. And it's just an amazing relationship we create. So that's what we do that's unique.
And I love it. And the hugging is still there in theory, right? We're just doing it in the socially distance. Yeah.
That's right.
I love it. Now, you guys are growing like crazy. I mean, you're exploding. There's been a lot of excitement. Talk to our audience a little bit about what markets you're still looking to reach and, your expansion plans.
Yeah, that's great. You're right. I mean, right now, with the number of people that are wanting to own this type of business, it's really growing. But there are a few underserved markets that I would love to, expand into. One would be Pittsburgh, which is, kind of crazy because Philly's got one of our largest franchises. So Pittsburgh's next door, we could get that going. St. Louis, Kansas City, even there's a couple places in Florida, Tallahassee, and a few places. So we're definitely always looking for operators. There's very few places that are completely what we call sold out. So there's always room for growth in many markets, but there are those few that, we know that we don't have anybody nearby that could actually take care of a customer today.
Great. Well, that sounds great for our audience and listeners who are, thinking, is there opportunity, right? So it's good to hear that there's just a couple of markets sold out and there's still plenty of territory left to be a franchise owner for Kitchen Tune-Up. Excellent.
I have about 950 open territories yet.
Just a few. Very good.
I wasn't going to list all of them. I didn't want to go there.
We could do number shows with that, right?
That's right.
Talking about franchisees as we are, share with the audience a little bit what qualities you look for a successful franchise owner with Kitchen Tune-Up.
You bet. I think that the one thing that I always like to put out there is that it does not have to be somebody that has any kind of remodeling background. And only less than 3% of our people come from any kind of remodeling background. So the thing I'm looking for now, which I think is different than what we've looked for in the past, I'm looking for lifelong learners. I feel like learning is such an important thing. Growing, advancing and evolving, I think is so critical that I look for people that when I'm talking with them during their interview, I'm looking for what ways are they looking to grow every day. You know, are they listening to podcasts? Are they watching videos? Are they reading books? I think that's really critical. And then after that, it's like resiliency. You'll hear that with almost any business, whether it's a franchise or not. But, you know, things are going to happen. Market changes are going to happen. What will you do to adapt? You know, what would be the resilience? Or will you just kind of sit back and wait to see what changes? And so ideally getting in there and getting in front of it is an important thing. I'm also looking for somebody that not only allows for coaching, but that seeks it out, because they do know how important that is. And I have an amazing group of coaches here at our home office, as well as my franchise owners have actually really become adapted at being great coaches for each other. And I think that that's when people really love the business, is knowing that I can get help and support, and, you know, even just talk an idea out, and how that helps you to really solidify a thought in your mind, is just being able to talk about it.
You know, and I think that's great, because the reality is, as we know, we talk about, you know, the line in franchising is, you know, it's to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself.
That's right.
So having you hear the support that you guys provide, and your passion for your brand comes through very strong, Heidi, always. And I think that's so important, right, for a franchisee to be successful with the brand.
Right, right. I mean, how else, you know, if you don't love what you're doing every day, then why are we doing it? You know, I always find that people that are the most successful are the ones that are most in love with what they're doing.
Could not agree more. And I come from my early stomping grounds was as a career coach and a life coach. So I applaud that statement very, very much that you just made. So,
Yeah,
so let's go a little bit deeper now and talk about, you know, one of my favorite hashtags on social media, and that's Franchise Strong.
Yeah.
Now, I'm very passionate about this concept of Franchise Strong. To me, you know, that hashtag embodies all that is franchising. It's a, you know, group, you hear it like with you, it's a united group, right? Very caring entrepreneurs who truly want to help people change their lives through franchise ownership. And many people, as we know, think about being their own boss, but franchising allows that to become a reality. And no matter the circumstances, you know, COVID-19, I mean, the challenges, you know, that happen in the world, the franchise community will never lose sight of helping people become entrepreneurs and business owners. So that's really, when I think of Franchise Strong and when I type that on social media, that's really what that means to me. Can you please share what Franchise Strong means to you, Heidi, and to your brand?
Yeah, I love when I see that hashtag. You use it a lot, and I love reading your posts about it, because here's the thing. I think that we could all be reflective during this time. Anytime, you know, we have market conditions that will change on you as a leader, if you don't spend some time in reflection and understanding, like, what did that do for cohesiveness? And one of the things that I felt right away that we needed to do was normalize and not catastrophize. And I found strong brands doing that. We normalized what was going on quickly, as opposed to using words that made people get more nervous, you know, because that's what we see on the news and the headlines, and it, you know, draws people in, right? But
Yes.
if you don't normalize it really quickly, you know, everybody can kind of go down that rabbit hole of negativity. And so we use that right away. And I find that in every opportunity, or every situation, there's an opportunity, right? And if you look for that first, instead of looking for what changes happened, like, what's our new opportunities? And for us, you know, we love this idea that virtual appointments, you know, became normalized. How amazing that people learned how to use technology to the level that I could be talking with a 70-year-old client that is saying, oh yeah, I can Zoom with you, no problem. We couldn't have done that. So normalizing it was really great. I also have found that the franchise brands have become even more transparent and sharing than I've ever seen in the past. And I've seen a lot of sharing. So, I mean, brands have taken, you know, the time to go, and as busy as they are, they'll take you under the wing and say, what do you need? But I've been a part of a few virtual roundtables now, and a couple happy hours and different things. And I'm just looking at this going, everybody wants everyone to succeed. Isn't that what franchising is? I mean, we've always kind of done it with our own organization, right? Like, I want every kitchen tune-up franchise to be as successful as they can be. But now we're looking at our other co-brands and different brands out there going, I want you to be successful too. I want franchising to be successful. And so as we look at that, as we look at the owners offering support to each other, the brands offering support to other brands, I watched, you know, new franchises that were going to school right during COVID, and we call them our baby toonies, you know, when they're new. And our franchises were going, what can we do to help our baby toonies? like for them, it became even more urgent as opposed to just hearing that there were new people in school. They were like, we need to help them through this. So I think that, we've been through changes and twists and turns, and you always come out the other side as long as you're adapting. I always say to people that we think we hate change, but as humans, we adapt quickly. And I was just doing a roundtable this week, and somebody was quoting the book, The Fifth Discipline by, I think it's Peter Senge. And here was this amazing quote that I feel was so great. It was, the only sustainable competitive advantage we have as an organization is to learn faster. The faster you learn, the more competitive you are. And I had been, we've been talking about that, and it just kind of summarized what we're all doing. We are all learning as fast as we can so that we can continue to offer what we need to offer.
Yeah, and that's great insight. I love that quote. I probably have to use it myself. It's a great quote. Because isn't that honestly what we all did, right? So many, brands, and we all went virtual. And like you said, we all became, pros at Zoom. And you think about a time when we barely Zoom, how does that work, right? And now it becomes a continual part of our lives. But like you, I see it, we touch base with so many brands, right, that we work with. And you do see it. Everybody wants the waters to rise so that, all ships succeed, right? So, I mean, you see that it is the embodiment of what franchising is about. So I love your insights on that. And I do think it's great that your more seasoned franchisees help your baby toonies, and that shows a lot, right, of integrity of the brand as well.
Yeah, they very much, the older ones call themselves Tunosauruses, and we have a lot of fun with our name. We've got our Tuniverse and all that stuff. So we've got all of our language in there. But they really have always been concerned. But I noticed that during this time, I was getting calls personally a lot saying, is there anyone that could use a little bit of assistance? Because one of the things that the Tunosauruses wanted to share was, guys, we've been through times before that were somewhat challenging, like, in 2009 or whatever. And they said, we wanted to let you know that there is a lot of light on the other side. And we want to make sure that you understand and hold that, so that you can have that in you too. And I thought that was such an amazing thing, is taking your past experiences. And it's not the same, these aren't the same times, but yet we all get through them as long as we're continually learning and adapting.
Well, it really is the concept of the Fran family, right? How we in franchising always talk about the Fran family, because it is that unity and helping each other as an organization and as all of franchising. It's not just about our brand or our interest. It's about the whole community succeeding and doing well. So I applaud all of your levels of franchises helping each other out. That's great. That's great.
All
great.
Good.
And I do think that, we're able to make such a difference in people's lives when we see how franchise ownership changes people, for themselves and for their family. It's very easy to see the warmth and the passion that's behind franchising. And certainly, Heidi, you display that very much. And I know you've been in this business for quite some time. And every time I speak with you, it just comes through so fresh. It's great. It's really it's really super.
Yeah. How can you not care for people that are out there, they're out there in the trenches, really, trying their best to make a brand new life, using that American dream scenario. And I always tell my team, as we've onboarded like 7 new employees in the last year. And every time they come in, I try to emphasize the importance of what the franchise owners are doing out there and how important it is that they are entrusting us with the future and saying that, listen, I depend on you. I need you guys there. And so my team takes it really seriously. And I think that is what all franchises are striving for.
Correct. And, listen, I really appreciate your time. I know you're very busy, but any last words before we wrap up?
Just always that we're stronger together than separate. We are. And if anyone ever wanted to reach out and talk with me, and if they needed anything, like you said, I've been doing this for 18 years now. I know the franchising world, and I've reached out many times and had many people give me as much time as I needed. And so I would love to be that for somebody if they need that. And I learn the most when I help others, actually. So would love to do that if anyone needs anything.
Super. You're the best, Heidi. I want to thank you once again for your FranTastic InSights.